Storm Track weather with meteorologist Blaze Keller.
We'll take a look at just how much of the nation was warmer than average today, but even back here in southern Wisconsin, we couldn't escape that unseasonably warm heat. Another day in the 80s and 90s, all thanks to this very strong high pressure system. You can see a lot of not only the Midwest, but the East Coast, the Appalachians, and even down to about Georgia, possibly into Florida, if we could see it, is being dominated by this area of really nothing but heat. On its edge, we find a low pressure system kind of turning all that moisture and pushing it off into parts of Canada. It's staying above us north, and then it's going to be dropping into the East Coast. So we can thank this high pressure system for the heat. And we can also thank it for at least the quiet conditions, but you can see all of this red is areas that were expected to be warmer than average today, with the darker reds across parts of Minnesota, here in Wisconsin, Iowa, as well as the Dakotas. And then you see a lot of blue across the Rockies and westward. So when we're talking about climate change, I think the best way that I've been kind of told to describe it is think about it as water displacement in a bathtub. If you push all of the water to one side, say warmer than average, then you've got nothing on the other side where it's cooler than average. So that's just maybe a different way of thinking about climate change, because we are going to be cooler than average next week or later next week, but that just means maybe somewhere else they're slightly warmer than average. Speaking of warmer than average, here's a look at our high temperatures today. Madison, 85 means we are tied for the third warmest October 1st start. 90, I believe Boscobel, now our records don't go too far back. That's our warmest, along with Lone Rock and Baraboo, as well as Montello. Areas were within the top 5 at least. Warmest starts to October. I'll get more cities on a list by later tonight of who either set new records or who are at least in the top 5. And we've got southerly winds still keeping us in those 80s right now. Again, we should only be ending in those upper 60s, which is where we're going to be by about 10 o'clock tonight. So for the next several hours, we're going to be well above average. And even as we go overnight, still well above average. So when we put out those forecasts for warmer than average temperatures, it could be also for overnight lows as well. It could be by a degree or several degrees. Now, this high pressure system is going to continue to really dominate our weather here across southern Wisconsin as we go overnight and into your Monday. Waking up quiet, southerly winds still keeping us on the warmer side. It is going to be another warm start to your work week. This high pressure system is slowly being pushed off to the east, though, as we go into Monday night and Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be our last really nice day, and then our temperatures start to drop. One of maybe two I would say, Canadian cold fronts are going to start to move on through, and that means that our temperatures are going to start to plummet as we go into the second half of next week. And from our highs on Monday to our highs on Saturday, that's about a 30-degree temperature difference in the span of a couple of days. Now, I'm not saying it's an Arctic high. I'm not saying it's a polar blast. I'm saying that it's just cooler air that's been sitting off in Canada. We could see a second one follow that as we go into maybe not next week, the week after. But actually, it looks like warmer than average temperatures are set to return as we go maybe into the middle of October. So again, that could be by a degree, that could be by several degrees. But we're looking at 80s at least here Monday and Tuesday, 70s and rain on Wednesday, 60s and rain on Thursday, 50s and rain on Friday. Drying out, staying in the 50s on Saturday, and then we're rebounding back into the 60s by Sunday. Still right about where we should be for this time of year, starting Thursday of next week. So that's 3 days still well above average as we kick off the first full week of October.
Yeah, so if you don't like this heat like me, just wait a couple days, then it'll be cooling down.
And then it will come back, yeah.
Well, I'm not focusing on that right now.
Cycle. No, I am ready for fall. This is not only not normal,
right?
But my body's ready.
Right.
The sweaters are ready to come out.
I agree. I agree.
It's time.
All right. Thanks so much, Blaze. Well, one of golf's most exciting tournaments